Hello, Las Vegas, and thank you for tuning in to Golf at the Park. We want to thank you for liking this video, subscribing to the channel. Please comment. We're running comment contests every week now where we pick out our favorite one or two comments, and we'll send you guys some free buckets of balls on our driving range or some free rounds of golf on Cloud 9. So we just want to encourage you to do that. Also, in the comments, if you would like to leave any kind of critiques of the show, something that you might like to see different, or questions that I don't normally cover, we'd love to hear that. All of the input is very much appreciated. So thank you, and we'll keep that message coming to you as episodes progress. And now the fun part. I'd like to welcome Robby Knickerbocker to today's show. Robby, thanks for coming, man.
Thank you.
I'm really excited. This is a fun episode because to take back things to 2 years ago now, in the middle of the pandemic, when my job had changed and it shifted straight to marketing and heavy social marketing presence. Robby was our first real photographer here for Angel Park. He was doing it at every golf course. He's just a golfer who one of his interests and hobbies is also photography. And so he would post these great pictures, always our favorite pictures of Angel Park. And so that's who I started following as a content producer early on, and then got into his golf groups that we're going to go over. But I really want to just thank you up front. I know I've told you this before, but you were the person that helped me get my job going in its form now. And then when the show was created, obviously, you were one of the first guests I wanted to come on. We're going to get into a little bit. I'm going to save it and not tease it, but there's a reason why I've saved you for a couple of months into the show to be on. But thank you. Thank you so much, Robby. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So on that note, let's just start at the beginning, bud. Where's your golf story start? And if it starts late in your life, why don't you tell us a little bit about early life and what sports you may have been playing before golf?
So I grew up here in Vegas, lived here almost 45 years now. Moved here when I was, just an elementary school kid. I was just played like the regular, kid stuff, Little League baseball, played basketball, Pop Warner football. Everybody hit their growth spurt in high school. I didn't. So the sports didn't go over to high school sports for me. I didn't get into golf until, it's about 13 years ago.
Okay.
12, 13 years ago.
Well, where'd you go to high school real quick? Because I'm always interested in that.
I went to Rancho.
Rancho High.
Rams.
Wow. And and that was in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, I went back when there was only 10 high schools here. We've talked about that because you went to Bonanza.
I went to Bonanza. And we're
right
the same age.
Time.
Yep.
So I went to Rancho, Air Force brat type thing. And then from there, went in the Marines, came back, worked in the casinos, got out of the casino business. I was always like a once-a-year golfer, twice-a-year golfer type guy. Then, 13 years ago, me and my best friend John, we go on a family trip down to Ventura County. And our family's renting a beach house. We're like, you know what, let's go down and play golf. And that kind of started it went from once or twice a year to once or twice a month to once a week.
Yeah.
So now it's like I try to get out every Friday now.
Yeah, you play a lot of golf.
I try to. I try to.
So that bug started then.
Yes.
And when it starts, tell me about that. Tell me about your introduction to, because that might have even been the first sport you played consistently, right, at that point?
Yeah.
So tell me about your learning curve and how you kind of started absorbing the game at that point.
Everything's like homemade swing. I've only gone to 2 instructors, and those really didn't last long just because I can't commit to once or twice a week going to.
Yeah.
So I don't practice. It's always if I have time to go to a golf
So
course.
for 13
I'm playing.
years, you're a playing golfer.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep, just go out, learn on my own, watch videos, like what everybody does now.
So
Try to
starting
find-
back then, did you have local golf courses in town that were your favorites? How'd that circuit start?
So
Because you've been around as more golf courses have been built.
yeah, and seen a couple of close. So
Yeah.
one of the first ones I was a part of was out at Silverstone, which is no longer there.
So it used to be 27. I think they called it a 28 hole property because
Yeah.
there was that weird little par 3 at the
19th hole,
end, 19th hole. Silverstone was a really good little golf course out north.
Way out
kind
north
of
at the
where.
end of Buffalo.
Yeah. So you were playing there.
Yep, and then I got into the OB card. So at the time it was Aliante, Angel Park, Painted Desert,
Legacy.
Legacy.
Yeah.
So I bounced around through there. Loved coming out here because out of opposite of those courses, there's no houses here. So it's wide open. I don't get nervous if I spray it. So I ended up being here a lot more. So
one of the things about Angel Park that I don't think we've brought up on the show is that there's a reason why we don't have houses out here. And there's a lease, a 50-year lease through BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, who actually owns this land. So Angel Park isn't a municipal facility, but it is owned by the city and the Bureau of Land Management. So that's why we can't build anything, or they can't build anything around it, which is really neat, which is really kind of one of the things that makes us a little special.
yeah, and then from there we could jump into the golf groups, right?
This is my favorite part about you because, again, we talk a lot about influencers and content producers, and you guys do a little bit of that, but you are old school homies who just golf, and there's a lot. So, yeah, start with how you and John started to grow your circle and where that heads.
So thanks to social media, we hook back up with our friends from high school. We get the golf bug. About 10 years ago, we started doing golf trips, right? And just like every golf trip, it just starts really small and really local. So there was just 4 of us, 2 of our high school buddies flew in. We go up to St. George for the weekend. I think we played 4 rounds in 3 days. You know, just go up Thursday.
Do you remember all the courses? Did you have a favorite?
Actually, I think there was 5 in 4 days. So on the way up there, we stop at Conestoga in Mesquite, play there. Stay in St. George. We played the ledges. The back 9 is just absolutely phenomenal. It's probably the most
really
picturesque.
pretty. Yeah.
It's that back 9. The front 9 is like real parkland type stuff. You make that turn after 10 and it just opens up. It's just like God's country up there. We end up going every 2 years.
Yeah, so and this is 8 years ago, or no,
10
way
years
more,
ago.
10 years ago,
10 years
because you
ago,
guys
so
just
we've
had
done
your 5th or 6th trip.
Sixth trip.
Okay, so we'll go through all of them. So you guys get so excited you're going to start going every other year.
Yes.
Okay.
So we go every other year, and because our high school group is so spread out, there's our friend Eddie lives in Jacksonville. My friend Dave lives in Detroit. Paul now was in Ohio. He now lives in Alaska. So we go kind of like cross country back and forth. So we go Myrtle Beach, played absolutely brutal. Beginning of July in Myrtle Beach.
That's a tough time to go to South Carolina.
That was a very trying time.
But Myrtle Beach is great golf. You probably played some really fun golf courses.
Yes, but it seemed like we went right when everybody's punching. So
wow.
Right at punching time. So it seemed like
and there's so many golf courses there. There's probably a handful that aren't that great. So you may have had some courses that weren't as fun on that trip too.
So we go to Myrtle Beach, bounce back out to Phoenix, played Wickenburg Ranch on the way down. Great course. Played TPC Scottsdale, both courses there. 500 Club and out at Estrella.
Estrella's a good golf course. So you went St. George, and then skipped a year and went Myrtle Beach, and then skipped a year and did Phoenix. And at that point, is Phoenix kind of your favorite?
Phoenix, yeah, absolutely. And we've learned along the way, like first it was hotel rooms, then Myrtle Beach, we had a condo that we all shared. So we're like, you know what, this is better than a
better way to
hotel.
do it.
And then we learned we can't play 36 every day. So we had one 36 day. We also learned that our first tee time probably should be around noon.
Yeah.
On the after the
because
day.
of the late night after the first night you're there, you guys are kicking it back a little bit.
Yeah, that's like we do the opposite. We all get there, so we're all like haven't seen each other in 2 years probably, and we're just hanging out, and it's an all-night thing.
So by Phoenix, because I know we still have a few more to go. By Phoenix, you've grown from 4 guys. Now what's your circle starting to look like?
So we're still we're now at 5, which is a odd number for a golf course. But we're able to finagle our way into a couple of fivesomes.
Nice.
Because we book a 3 and a 2.
Yeah.
And then outside of TPC, all the other courses are like, we don't care if you guys join up, just stay, keep the pace. And one of our buddies, he just goes along to hang out. So he does it, he'll hit a couple of shots. So it's like playing as a 4.5. And we're like a 4.5 slim. So Scottsdale, we bounced to Orlando. Yeah, played great courses there. We played one Disney courses. We played Grand Cypress. We played North Shore, and there was one other course.
Did you have a favorite?
I forgot the name of it. Again, Rosen. It's a creek. It ends in Creek. But God,
and that was your favorite one?
Yeah, absolute beautiful course. It's at a resort. It's a resort course, big hotel. So water on every hole type course. So that was fun. Great conditions. We went, and early on, it was always the week after Mother's Day, which was always a weird sell for the group because, hey, honey, hey, happy Mother's Day. I'm leaving on Wednesday.
Right.
The Wednesday after.
But I'm guessing that was kind of when kids were out of school, maybe? Is that what kind of centered you guys on that date?
I think it was just like price and opening. It's that shoulder season.
And everything starts getting more affordable.
Yeah. St. George, Phoenix, they're done with spring training. It's not super hot yet. So we kind of learned that springtime is the time to go. So we did that. Orlando.
So it's the week after Mother's Day. I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought.
Yeah, it was week after Mother's Day. It grew from, I think it was a Thursday through Sunday is how we started. Now it's like a Wednesday through Monday.
Right.
So we're leaving on Wednesday, coming home on Monday type travel. We 2019 was Orlando. So then COVID.
Well, let's go back to Orlando because in Orlando, my favorite thing happens with you guys. And so Robby, we'll get into this when we double back after the trips, but you're wearing a Cocky and Lucky shirt.
Yep.
And that's one of the local groups here in Vegas that is really accessible. They kind of, if they just meet you out on the golf course and you want to start playing with these guys, that's kind of how they grow. And they've got a lot of pals. And a sub-segment of Cocky and Lucky was born in Orlando, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So everybody likes birdies.
Right.
Like, celebrate. I don't care if we're playing a match, me against you. If you get a birdie, I'm going to celebrate it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to come up with a idea of like, hey, how are we going to celebrate it? So I came up with the Birdie Chain. You get a birdie.
Let's go.
You get to throw it on, take a picture on the hole.
Throw her up on your mic. Let's have that up there. Yeah, for the rest of the show. The Birdie Chain.
You don't have to wear it when you play. It's actually been broke a couple of times because it's just a big chain.
But it's like the turnover chain, which inspired it.
Yep.
Once you get it, you have it until the next person makes
Birdies.
one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've come up with rules along the way. So, if it hasn't come out yet, and it doesn't come out of the bag until there's a birdie.
Right.
So there's a couple of rounds that it just never comes out.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
So, last birdie in for the first chain. So you could drop a 30-footer, and somebody has a 3-foot birdie putt. You're the 3-foot.
Oh, on the same
birdie,
hole.
On the same hole, last birdie putt drops gets changed.
Oh, that incentivizes you to the person who actually plays the hole better.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
And then once it's out, to be the man, you got to beat the man. So if you have the chain, and me and you have the chain, and me and you birdie, you keep the chain. Because I didn't beat you. We tied.
That's great.
So a little Ric Flair, to be the man, you got to beat the man.
I love that.
So,
and then there's also I wouldn't call it a rule, but tradition at the end of once you make birdie.
Yep, we do. We like to do fireball shots.
Yep.
Sometimes some people feel like it's a punishment.
Yeah,
people celebrate it. There's a total difference between.
I've had the honor of bringing out the fireball shots for a birdie chain or two,
and they were cold too,
and
which
it's
is
so fun.
Very appreciated. Cold fireball versus hot fireball is totally different.
I love that. So that's where the birdie chain starts, and we'll get into how that goes in Vegas now. But so then COVID.
Yes.
So do you have to wait a year for your next trip?
Well, it falls back in because we're going every odd year anyways. So 20
So
hits.
it's 21.
Yeah, so 21's next one. And, so the planning May's out just because that's all during the travel issues.
Right.
And trying to get everybody around. So we go to Nashville for 21, and we end up going in the fall. Absolutely gorgeous time of the year in Nashville. Great golf courses, Gaylord Springs, Greystone, the Hermitage courses, and it was kind of like the same thing. We ended up playing 6 courses in 5 days. We had 2 36-hole days.
Where was your favorite course there?
That had to be Gaylord Springs.
Yeah.
It's right there by Opryland.
Oh, fun.
It's almost right across the street from Opryland. So, great time there. Beautiful courses. Again, on Gaylord Springs, it's just something about that course.
Did you guys have one night down on Music Row where you guys were partying?
Broadway. So,
tell me about that night.
So first night we get there, we all go out to Broadway, bounce around, end up at Kid Rock's place. 4 stories, end up on the roof.
Just a huge party.
Yep, live band. Was that we might have gone out on a Tuesday on that one.
And it still was rocking, right? Because it's Nashville. Yep. Nashville's a little like Vegas that way.
Yeah, and then on Friday night, we also bounced. A group of us did. A couple of the guys were like, we're not going. So a group of us went out. Nashville, nobody knows. It's also the bachelorette party capital of the United States.
I did not know that.
Yes,
so that had to be a little fun.
Yes, the guy to girl ratio is very favorable.
Wow, all you guys out there planning your golf trips, Nashville should maybe be on the list.
Yeah, absolutely. Great courses, great nightlife. So we've always had great courses. We say St. George and we go great nightlife. Well, maybe not. Great courses. Phoenix, great course. We had a house, a pool table in the house. We had, you have the old Scottsdale area. Myrtle Beach is Myrtle Beach. I mean, it's just an absolute party city. Orlando, same thing. You have all the tourist party areas there. We had a house with a pool and a hot tub.
So fun. And I know where we're going already to 23, and that's what I didn't tease earlier and the reason why you're coming on the show late. But one of the neat things about your next trip, your most recent trip, is that you guys did so much content. And I'm a little bummed that it hadn't become a thing, right? Because all of those places you stayed and the golf courses, I would have loved to see all the content you guys would have done if you were doing them now. Does that make sense? Because you guys are so much better at taking pictures and videos and sharing them. And that would have been neat to see those. So I can't wait until 2025 when we get to almost experience a little of that with you.
It might actually be live broadcasting.
Yes, by then. Yeah, let's go. That sounds so fun. All right, so your group up until then, how big is it for Nashville?
By Nashville, we expand to 8. So there's our core 5 guys. It's me, John, Paul, Dave, and Eddie. It's almost like the Beatles
Yep.
sounding. All went to Rancho. That's how we know each other, and we've stayed together. Now we're like, hey, we want to expand this out. So Paul planned Nashville out, and he was living in Ohio. So
That's
Ohio
the other cool
friends,
thing about you guys is that you guys don't all live in Vegas.
No,
anymore.
I mean we're basically coast to coast. I mean Alaska to Florida now. So we expanded out to 8. It was 4 of us. Eddie couldn't go, so it was our core 4 guys, and 4 guys from his 4 buddies from Ohio came out. So now we're at 8.
Right.
Then we plan 2023. Which
how's it start? How's the planning start? Whose idea?
Paul's idea, because we all turned 50 this year. So it's like, hey, we're going to do a 50 trip.
Such a goat trip, by the way.
Once in a lifetime. It's like we're going all
So
out.
Paul says what to you?
We woke up to an email. Here's the itinerary.
Oh, he already put it together?
He
had a plan and an idea.
He had the itinerary plan out. It was like, here's where we're going. We're going in April, and here's the courses. And these are, dates, times, everything.
And where is it?
St. Andrews.
Oh my gosh. St. Andrews, and you're all turning 50.
Yes. So, and it's a 12-man trip this time. We expanded even more.
And fathers and sons even went on this
trip.
trip.
We had 2 father-son combos. Paul and his son went. They were able to play the old course together. Ed, who joined our group here, he's from Vegas. His son Andrew, graduating college. It was his college graduation trip.
Sure.
Was able to go.
Fun.
So,
all right, take us through from nuts to bolts.
Oh, it was awesome. Waking up to an email saying, guys, here's the plan. We are going to Old Course, Carnoustie, Crail, another Jubilee, which was one of the St. Andrews has 7 courses, I think.
Right.
That they have. So it was Jubilee, Carnoustie, Old, Crail, and we're going to spend a week in Scotland. So absolutely awesome. We ended up planning it out. Things opened up like a month beforehand where John and I are able to go over early and bounce around London. Once in a lifetime trip. I absolutely love that city now. To see all the history and everything. So we spend 2 days bouncing around London, meet everybody we all fly to Edinburgh and taxi over to
St. Andrews. And you stayed in St. Andrews.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the city.
So very old. Very old. The streets aren't wider than your table. Cobblestone streets. Everything is a 10-minute walk.
It's small.
Yeah. We walk out of the bread and breakfast that we're staying at. We take over 2 bed and breakfast places. You walk out, it's a 10-minute walk to the Old Course. It's a 10-minute walk to the university. Everybody bounced around town. There's no need for transportation. It was just walking everywhere. So it was just phenomenal. I mean, it's the home of golf.
Yep.
A lot of history, walking around, popping
in
and out of the
start
shops.
day one, because I want to hear about obviously the Old Course and explain it how because you don't do tee times necessarily. Explain all that.
So we while we're there, the tour group that we went through couldn't get guaranteed tee times for Old. So which actually they were charging us like $400 for the round. It's actually $170 to $220.
So they were
if you do the walk up.
Yeah.
But they couldn't guarantee us the time, so they were like, "Hey, we'll get you into the ballot." 2 days before, so say you want to play on Wednesday, on Monday, they put you in the ballot for Wednesday. So 2 days in advance if you make the ballot, and what it is everybody puts in their groups. You could put in the ballot for a 2-some, a 3-some, or a 4-some. No single-person ballots. They do the drawing at 5. You get an email saying, hey, you made the ballot today, or you made the ballot for Wednesday. Here's your tee time.
Great.
So they just assign you a tee time. So we're not making it in on the ballots on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So we all get there on Monday. Tuesday we play. We're in the ballot for Tuesday. We don't get on, so we play Jubilee. Jubilee is one of the oldest. Well, you have Old, New, and then Jubilee. Jubilee started as a 12-hole women's course for St. Andrews, and they expanded it to 18. It has a lot more elevation and a lot more like dunes than like Old is pretty flat. So there's a lot of like tunnels, it feels like, that you're hitting through.
Yeah.
Big tall hills, sand hills around it. We don't get the ballot for Wednesday. We're at Carnoustie. Oh, we didn't go for the ballot for Wednesday because we couldn't change our Carnoustie time. Okay. So we play Carnoustie.
Tell us about Carnoustie.
Top 10 course in the world and rated as one of the hardest courses in the world. Absolute joy. Like, I don't know what it is about golf, but getting my ass kicked on the course is fun. I don't know why.
Especially there.
Yeah, 114 bunkers. There's a few that are easily 10 feet deep, and greenside bunkers that you have to try to launch them up over or just take your medicine and hit out.
Yeah.
Probably the best caddy I had during the experience. So that's the other thing. Everything's walking. So had a caddy for Jubilee. That was fine. I had a caddy for Carnoustie, Gerald. Absolute joy. Like, goals in life. Like, he's 60 years old. He's a retired engineer. He carries a bag 3 times a week.
Retired engineer and just wants to be out looping.
Yeah.
Just to be out there.
He says he goes out, carries a bag 3 or 4 times a week. And the week after we were there, he was going on his own golf trip to Spain.
Wow.
Where he was going to spend
a
week bouncing around Spain playing golf. The guy was it was absolutely hilarious. Funny caddy. We've had a couple really good ones while we were there and a couple okay ones.
Yeah.
So we play there. We play Carnoustie. We go through the entire weather gamut.
I was going to say, some of those videos, you guys didn't always have great weather.
So it's windy that day. So it's like mid 40s or low 50s, probably wind chill in the mid 40s when we start. Then it rains, and then it hails, and then it sleets, and then
all in the same day,
all in the same round, all on the back 9. Actually, I think it was the video I posted was from 14, where me and Paul are just absolutely
and you're
drenched.
walking up, and you're saying, I couldn't be having more fun.
Yeah, it was absolutely a blast. All on the back 9. We go through all the seasons, and the sun breaks out right around 17. So we finish at the clubhouse in the sun on 18. Like, Gerald walked me over. That's the Van de Velde moment.
Oh, that's right.
When he absolutely blew the Open.
Yeah, 4 or 5 shot lead and going into 18.
And then he puts it in the berm, tries to hit out of the berm.
Famously can't get it out.
Yeah, he hits the grandstand.
He gets into trouble 2 different times.
So he sends it over. He sends it over the berm, hits the grandstand, and bounces back over the berm into the most atrocious rough that luckily, when we played there, it wasn't high. Thank God.
Yeah.
It wasn't. But then he duffs it into the burn, and then he tries to get out, and then he ends up taking like a triple or a quad.
Yeah.
And loses.
Yeah.
Or
by
loses
1 stroke.
in the playoff.
Yeah. Loses in the playoff.
So somebody etched where he went in. It says Van de Velde. What year was that? That was like 07 maybe, or whatever year it was.
I'm sure he loves that.
Oh God!
I wonder if he's gone back and played that hole. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he's never going to play that hole again.
I want to say there may be a YouTube video of him replaying it.
Oh wow, that's fun.
He just took his medicine and here we go.
He adjusted.
We're going to do it. So we go Carnoustie on Wednesday. Thursday is an off day. So me and my buddy Matt, who I met through another group, greenskeeper.org, which is a large Southern California.
Shout them out, because another Instagram account that I just love following, Angel Parker, we're big fans.
I met So greenskeeper.org is like a big, almost like a giant social media website for, it's mostly Southern California golfers, but playing in Southern California a lot, I was rating courses or checking on course conditions, and he posts course conditions.
All those.
Like a play, you go out, play today, you post, and it's not like, oh, great routing and this and that. It's like, hey, fairways were awesome, greens were bumpy, or so you
So
know
you've got the whole
you know
down
the
low.
conditions. So that's why that site is so great. You don't want to go to a course and not know it's being punched.
Right.
So he updates aeration schedules and everything on that site. So I met Matt and his entire family through Greenskeeper. So Matt comes on the St. Andrews trip with us.
Matt wins a lot of the birdie chains, at least out at Angel Park.
Yeah, he
Good player.
he is, and he hits it far.
Yeah.
So I mean, you hit it farther and you hit it closer. So
Yeah.
So he comes along. We have an off day on Thursday. We're going to do the walk up for the old.
Yeah. So where you're almost camping out.
Yes.
You're getting up very early in the morning.
And that's the other way on, either as a single or there's normally about 20 spots open a day where you can walk up and go, hey, I'd like to play the old course today. And they're like, absolutely, we have an opening for you.
So great.
So
how many of you went that morning? Was it
It's
just you
just
and
me
Matt?
and Matt.
Okay.
So
What time did you get there?
We got there at 3:45.
What spot in line were you?
We were 9 and 10. So the first guy got there at 12:15 in the morning. Second guy brought a air mattress and got there at 12:30.
And just slept.
Yes.
King.
just slept it. The doors open at 6. You go in. First tee time is like 6:40 at that time of the year, and go home and take a nap. The next group, there was 6 of them that showed up about a half hour before us. So they got there right around 3. We got there around 3:30. So they were numbers 3 through 8. So the messed up part about them is, so they're a group of 8. 2 of them got in on the ballot. So they were doing 2-man ballots. 2 of them got in on the ballot. You're able to see the openings on the website before you go down there. So you're like, oh, okay, there's an opening at this time. There's a 2-man. Their group, there was 2 of them by themselves. Number 1 in line takes one of the twosome spots.
Oh, wow. So you're getting nervous.
No, he took their twosome spot,
Oh.
so they couldn't play as a group.
Oh no.
I was like, that was a complete dick move.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Like, I don't know if they told him, said, hey, our buddies are playing as a twosome at 10:20. Don't take that spot. There's 20 other spots that guy could have took. So, and they actually, the 4 of them got on. There was a foursome available. So they were able to play as a 4.
The other 4, yeah.
Yeah, so me and Matt got a afternoon tee time, like 2:30. Tee time as a twosome. Went out, played, just absolutely phenomenal. Like,
All right, tell us about it. Tell us.
so first tee, everybody's watching. Like, it's right on the road. It's right by the
So there's a gallery.
starter. There is a
there's
absolute
people who like
gallery.
to just watch people tee off on the first tee.
Yeah.
Like going and hanging out at the airport and watching planes take off.
And you're sitting there, you're like, hey, let's go down and watch people. I think we did it 4 of the 6 days that we were there. We'd walk down to the old
You
course
do
and
it.
just watch
so
people.
fun.
So luckily, the first fairway for 1 and 18 are parallel fairways. There's nothing in between them, so it's like a 120-yard wide fairway. Very difficult to miss. So striped it right down the middle. I was like, oh, perfect. Striped it right down the middle. Then the rest is just like, it was just an incredible walk. It's just like TV. And it felt like it because through all the opens, the Dunhill links that they have there every year, it's on TV, 2 or 3 times a year. All the videos you can watch. It's in the Tiger Woods video game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've probably played that course over 100 times, even just on Tiger Woods alone.
Yeah.
So, just loved it. Just absolute. I'm like, it felt familiar, but you're just like soaking it in. You come to 17, you have the shot over the
Yep.
corner of the
Mm-hmm.
hotel. I put it right into somebody's balcony. Just a huge slice. I never heard it hit. You see it turn in, and I was like, was their slider open? Like, is
Yeah,
that like
because
going
I
down
never
the
heard
hall
anything.
now? Matt bombs it over the corner. He bombs it all the way down past the jiggers in, and so I take my penalty. I end up on the road of that hole. It's the road hole.
Yep.
So I end up on the road and try to putt off of it. Almost made it.
Oh,
Almost made it
wow.
on. Almost made it on. It got up to the top and then just came back down. So I putted it back up there. Then 18, you're coming down 18. You get to cross the Swillican Bridge. Our group came down for our group photo.
One of my favorite, probably my favorite picture of the trip.
Like, you can't do better for lighting on that. Like, we had the dark clouds behind us, the bridge is all lit up, the hotel in the background. It was just a
Now,
phenomenal
you guys
picture.
documented all of this and you made a website. So I
Yep.
know that there's people watching that would be interested in this. Why don't you share what that is?
The website is GT2K23, so GT2K23 Scotland, all one word, .com.
Yeah.
And
And that's where all of your content is. And you guys did a great job.
And we use that hashtag on all our social media posts. It's hashtag GT2K23 Scotland. We do that for all our trips. So there's a hashtag 21 Nashville, hashtag 19 Orlando.
Oh, so all of them have a website.
No, not a website, but they were all social
just
media
the way that
hashtags.
you did it. Yeah.
This is the first time we had the website. He's still trying to upload all the photos. I mean, between the 12
Who's
of
in
us,
charge of that?
Paul is. He did an absolute.
Paul is the star of the show.
So I have the 25 trip, and I'm like, I can't top this. One, it was Scotland. Two, he gives you a welcoming bag. We got a T-shirt. He did caricatures for everybody. We have a T-shirt with our character pictures on it. We got ball markers, divot tools.
How fun.
We have a koozie. Dave got koozies for everybody. It was like a welcome bag to a tournament. Like,
So are you trying to keep it secret, or do you have some ideas on 2025?
It's going to be a West Coast trip. So
I've got an idea of 3 or 4 places
there
would be good.
Yeah, there may be a redo of St. George. Do a Mesquite St. George combo. You can't beat the courses down there. Or it's surprising we've never been to Palm Springs. So
Palm Springs would be great.
Only bad part about both those, you either have to do them early or late.
Yeah, right.
You're not doing. I mean, you get great prices in July, but you better tee off at like 6 a.m.
So fun.
So we played Old Friday. We go to Krell. Krell is like the Pebble Beach of Scotland. Like, all from every hole on the course, you can see the North Sea. And there's probably 8 holes that run on the ocean. And it's just on I forget what the geographical term is, but it's on a point.
Yeah.
So you go down this side, you come up here, you play a couple of inner ones, and then you go around the corner, and there's 4 more holes, like right below the clubhouse.
How fun.
That's the only course that allows carts. So you could, or as they call them, buggies.
So did you ride?
I did not, and that was a huge mistake because that has some elevation changes. And then we hit the worst weather while we were there. Just absolute 40-mile-per-hour sideways rain. It was just coming in, stinging the face, and it was an absolute blast to play in.
Yeah.
Like, the wind's coming off the ocean at like 40, and I did like the Pebble Beach 18 where you start it over the ocean and bring it back. I think I hit it dead into the ocean, and it just came all the way back. The wind just carried it. So that was Friday. So Saturday we had a course planned, but we ended up canceling it because 3 of the guys got in on the ballot.
To go play old again.
Go play old. Jim, his brother Zach, and Rich, his brother Zach, and Jim, all from Ohio. All 3 like grew up with each other. Won the ballot. So 5 of us decide, hey, we're going to go down and walk on again.
So you did the early morning thing again.
Yep, 12. We get down there at 12:30 this time.
So you made sure that you were going to get on.
First in line.
Nice.
So Vern is from the Ohio group. He gets in with his buddies to play the old.
Awesome.
He takes the single, and there's a foursome available. So
perfect.
Me, John, Paul, the 3 originals, and Paul's son Landon take the foursome, and we play the old.
So Paul was rewarded. That's
yes,
awesome.
Yeah, and that, to me, that time was absolutely, I'm playing the old course with 2 of my best friends in life. You know, I call them my brothers. I'm like, you know, that's my brother Paul. That's my brother John. You know, we've been best friends I've known John since 6th grade. Me and Paul met in high school. Dave, I met in middle school. Eddie lived like right down the street from me starting in middle school. So we all have like grown up together.
I think it's neat. I mean, we all have those friends, right? And that we call brothers. At least most of my friends that I know do. And to be able to share it through golf and travel, that's got to be so neat for you guys. I mean, that's special.
It's awesome. You know, we're in group chats. We probably our group probably has like 2 or 3 different group chats. So
segments.
Yeah, that are going at the same time. So every day it's the same thing. So that's the good part. We were able to play old together. Started in the fog, which was absolutely awesome. Like you're driving into the fog off number 1, and then we got to do the bridge again.
So tell me about, they don't do hot dogs at the turn. They don't do tacos at the turn, one of our favorites that I just want to shout out randomly. They're a great follow on Instagram. What do they do at the turn?
They have meat pies. They are phenomenal. It's like a puff pastry stuffed. I had one that had like just beef and gravy. They had a mac and cheese one.
Yeah.
They had a mincemeat. I mean, it was awesome because they're
self-contained.
They're self-contained. They're handheld. You can walk and eat them at the same time, and it doesn't make that much of a mess.
I love that. I love that part of the story that I would have never known. Yeah.
Yeah, it is absolutely incredible. 9th hole at right after 9 at Old, on the 10, and right after 10 at Carnoustie.
Fun. All right, have we covered Scotland, or is there anything you want to add? Okay.
No, Scotland, once in a lifetime. Absolutely loved it. I don't know how we top it.
Yeah.
And surprising for cost. I have no shame talking about what it cost us. Yeah. Airfare, golf, lodging, everything
out the door.
$4,300.
What?
Yes.
I would have never guessed you do that trip for well under $5,000.
Yeah, and we upgraded our seats to premium economy so that we weren't sitting in coach, and
that's awesome.
That it's incredible the prices that you could get to fly to Europe. It's cheaper than trying to fly to Miami and doing a golf trip down there.
That's so neat. All right, let's go back now to local. And I want to start with, because you're involved with and pals with so many different local golf groups. Tell me how each one started. Tell me, let's just get into all those.
So my main group right now is Cocky and Lucky Golf and Social Club.
Yep.
And social is really emphasized in it. We take our golf seriously. We don't take each other seriously. We don't take ourselves seriously.
Roughly how many members?
There's got to be at least like even fringe 12 to 15, I think right now that we can get out and try to get around together and just post and go, hey, we're playing this day.
Who started it?
So Gary, the Johan.
The Johan. I can't wait until you're on, Gary. I didn't even know your first name. I cannot wait until you're on the show.
So Gary, Cliff, and Mike are your good friend Mike Brasino,
Love Mikey. He's already been on the show.
Cliff Harris. They met through another local group, Vegas Golf Network.
Yep.
So, and that's how I met them. I got paired up with them in one of the VGN tournaments and just hit it off.
Another great group, but I remember when you were talking about this months ago, VGN and Cocky and Lucky are kind of vastly different. Why don't you explain the differences? Because there are, I think a lot of golfers would like both of them, but there are definitely things that would drive golfers towards one or the other.
Yep. Everybody golfs for a different reason.
Yep.
Right. I golf to relax. I golf to escape the world. And it's 4.5, hours plus an hour before and an hour after of hanging out with my boys, having a few pops, walking around. You're in the sun. You're on the golf course.
It's social club.
Yes. So that's why I golf. VGN is a tournament.
Competitive.
It's a very competitive group.
Yeah.
They have tournaments every month. And they bounce around from...
Yeah, super well organized.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think they're around 80 members right now, 80 to 100 different.
Awesome.
And I think this is their third year. So I played the first year, and then my schedule didn't work out, and I just didn't like the grind. Yeah,
it's just not why you play golf.
Yeah. So I like to have music going. I like to have a few beers. I like to go out and have fun. So, I can't talk. We talked, like, Cocky and Lucky. You get nervous when it gets quiet. If somebody's not busting your balls in the middle of your backswing, you're like, what are they doing back there? Like, you get nervous.
Yeah, I love that about you guys.
Like, what are you guys doing? You guys messing with me?
Yeah.
So, we like to have fun. We take our golf seriously. We count every stroke, but we don't take ourselves seriously.
Right.
Like, you hit one sideways, you're going to hear it.
Yeah.
You top one every time there's water in front. You walk up and go, oh, there's water in front of the tee box. Mike's shot is at. You get Andrew, who absolutely bombs the ball like over 300. But that guy cannot hit a wedge. Can't chip. He chips like he hits a driver. Like, just absolutely sends it over the green. So it's the Andrew.
Yeah.
So we have everybody has a name that has shots named after.
I love that. And we'll have more Cocky and Lucky guys on. I look forward to it. How does that splinter off into the Birdie Chain? Because probably right around Orlando, you guys.
So that's how I get into. So I met up with the Cocky and Lucky guys. So that was, I think they started so this is their third year. So VGN kind of started right around COVID. Towards the end of 20 is when they first started. I met up with the Cocky and Lucky guys, I think in 2021, late 21.
Just playing golf?
Running through a VGN tournament. We all got paired up together. So, and we all clicked off. We all hit it off. It was me, Mike, Andrew, and Cliff playing in that tournament together, and it just snowballed from there.
Fun.
So, the core 4 or 5 guys, we have Josh, John, Josh, Gary, Mike, Cliff, Andrew are like the core group. So there's like 6, 7 guys. And then there's another 5 or 6 guys that just like to come out and play with us. So it's fun. We like to go out. We bounce around town. You could get a midday round, a weekend round. And that's how the Birdie Chain just because I might have stole the idea, like we talked, from the U.
Yeah.
There's other groups out there with Birdie Chains now. The greenskeeper.org group, they have a traveling Birdie Chain.
And you're not offended by taking...
No,
yeah.
I love it.
You're proud of that.
I asked them to send me their pictures. I'm like, send me your pictures. And I have my own Instagram page for the Birdie Chain. It's the Birdie Chain. And it's just a fun thing.
When you mention that, I want to bring up your Bloody Mary that you're having right here. We were talking about the golf father, Niz at Niz Golfs, he does. He's done for a few months a Bloody Mary challenge, and you were telling me that you had thought about doing it, and then you had seen his, and you were like, "Well, I don't want to take his idea." But along the lines of the Birdie Chain, I think he would love that if you did it, and you guys could compare scores. You guys could set up a match where you go out, and I just think that's a great idea. So I'm sitting here. I feel like I'm constantly playing wrestling promoter where I want to get guys competitive but also together. So I think all of that's fun. So yeah, you just created Birdie Chain as its own content piece, its own
it's his own page. So I post the GK stuff all the time, that the greenskeeper.org one. Matt has his own. Half the group, our whole group, carries their own just in case I'm not out there. We have our own chains.
That's awesome.
So I'm trying to get us to make a cocky and lucky traveling chain.
That's a great idea.
So you're the last guy with the birdie. You keep the chain until somebody takes it from you.
You guys do coins. What's with the cocky and lucky coins?
That was the membership coin.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I think there's 5 of us that
have the coin. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
And let's spend a little bit of time on photography. I think you're such a good photographer, and the first time I ever told you that, you were taken off guard. You almost like you didn't consider yourself a photographer. Tell me about how you got interested in that, and then obviously it translates easy into you take a lot of golf pictures.
I just like to remember where I played, so I just started taking pictures, and I started following other photographers. One of my favorites is It's Like I'm Saying. I met him through Greenskeeper. I've known him a number of years, so I always go.
So at It's Like I'm Saying?
Yeah.
Let's shout all these out.
With saying SAYIN at the end.
Oh, fun.
No G. So It's Like I'm Saying.
Yeah, I've seen him.
And I saw his pictures, and I'm like, oh, man, that's what I want to do. I want to take these pictures, and he finds these angles on the golf course that you're like, where do you find that angle at? Yeah, a little bit different. Yeah. You're shooting from the trees, you're shooting from the back, you got a ground level or the bunker shot. So I just like the different angles more than just, a lot of it's just down the fairway, but then trying to find those side angles in, or, this is like one of my favorite ones. The 17th at Palm.
I love it every time you take a picture of it. And I love every one. Yeah, they're great. 17th at Palm is one of our most picturesque scenes for sure. What are some of the other things that I wanted to cover? You said earlier that you use golf to escape life. I want to just touch briefly on the fact that you are a detective here in town.
Yeah, I'm a robbery, violent crime detective for a local police department.
Heavy job. So without getting into that, explain a little bit more about how that helps your mental health. And it's not just escaping the world that most people are escaping. You're escaping a pretty dark world.
Yeah, I don't see people at their greatest. I like to say I can't believe the evil a man can do to another man. I worked homicide for a year, got out of that just because I couldn't handle it. Every call you go to, it's a dead body call. So I go back to robbery. So I do that. But golf is my escape. I don't think about work while I'm on the golf course.
You're able to leave it behind.
It stays in the car. I don't carry my work phone with me on the golf course. I try not to answer work phone calls on the golf course. It's just me and my boys out there, So it's just that break. It's that, like we were talking about, is that self-care.
Yeah.
Right? It's that self-care that you need to go out and you need to have a release, because if I'm sitting at home, that shit's just going to build up.
Yeah.
So that's my release. I try to get out as often as possible.
I think it's so neat and it's heartwarming that you're able to get away from that. Because I think that if you can't, those people who don't have that way, I mean, it's so traumatic that it can really break people, I think. Yeah.
And there's a lot of cops at golf. And we, whenever a scramble comes up, There's a group of us. There's 8 of us in our office alone that'll go out.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to win the scramble.
Nope.
we are not trying to win the scramble.
I
You
love
could go.
that.
You could go out and shoot your post that 56 in a scramble all you want. I'm posting at 72.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care. One of our teams actually won a most honest golfer during one of the
I love that
scrambles.
when tournaments make that. That's
Yeah.
that's a fun award.
And we Ubered there, so you already know
You guys are smart. You guys are responsible.
we're catching an Uber at 6:00 in the morning.
I
to
wish
go
more
to
people
a-
did that. Hey, everybody, if you're going to go get bombed on the golf course, I fully support that. But take an Uber. Yeah, that's
It was like, hey, we're going to Uber there because we are going to have a day.
yeah.
We are going to have a good day.
I love it.
And it's a scramble, so we're just out there hitting balls and putting and picking up, and let's go on to the next one.
All right, let's do not a fun question. What's your least favorite thing about golf, or what would you change about the game if you could?
I think we always talk like golf. Sometimes people take. I can't fault somebody that takes golf seriously. That's their thing. They want to get better. They want to beat the course. And that's good for them. So I can't fault that. I'm more of a laissez-faire.
Yeah, you're
just
not a
out-
purist.
Yeah, in a point though.
But you are. You love it.
I follow the rules. I count every stroke, but I'm out there, with the music going, with the, popping beers. Some
New
people-
golf.
So, speed and
Pace of play.
And I think you need to think of your other golfer.
Consideration.
Yeah, you got to consider your other golfers out there. So if you're out there and you're out there to have like our scramble team, like we're out there just to hit balls, but I don't want the people behind me waiting on me, right? So if you're out there just to have a good time and you're not taking your golf seriously, throw a ball down, hit it, pick up, whatever you want to do, but don't ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah.
Don't take 5 hours, while everybody's waiting and there's 3 holes ahead of you that's open.
Yeah.
So that's it. I love people coming out. I love people having a good time on the golf course. Just think of others and go, hey, why are we out here today? Are we going to take our golf seriously and we're going to count every stroke and you're going to play fast? Or we're going to play fast and pop a beer every hole or
Right.
whatever you're going to do. Just don't hold up the guys behind you. Don't ruin it for everybody else.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about golf? I think we covered it a little bit, but also you got to have some choices there too, right? Because of the travel, the camaraderie. I know then there's also the break from your life. What's your favorite thing about golf?
It's just getting out because I love getting out and playing with my friends. I'll go out and play solo. One of my favorite things before my work schedule, I used to have Thursday afternoons off. I would come out here on Thursday afternoon and just play.
Favorite thing?
Yep, I sit by myself. I have, I just go out. If there's a group ahead of me, I'm like, you're never going to see me behind you. You're not going to see me standing in the fairway. I don't want to pass you because I'm not playing fast.
Right.
I'm out here for 3 hours to play 18 holes, and I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah.
So, and I just put my feet up on the tee box, wait for them to walk off the green, and then I'll go play it.
Beautiful. Robbie, thank you so much. I think that's the end of the first segment of the show. I really appreciate it.
It's been a blast.
We're gonna play the par 5 right now.
All right.
All right. So, question number 1: what's your favorite golf movie?
I'm going to go with Caddyshack just because it's the classic. It's just it's a hilarious one. Even though that came out way before I started golfing, I think it pretty much stands in it. Like, there's a lot of parts of it that picks
you're
up.
old enough where you probably liked it far before you were into golf, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you just liked it because it was a funny effing movie.
Yeah. It was, yeah. I probably watched it a dozen times,
Right.
growing up. So, yeah, great movie, great lines,
Love it.
still quotable.
Question number 2: what's your favorite club in your bag and why?
So, got to go with the club that has a name. It's the only club in my bag that has a name. And
I love that you've named a club.
Yep.
I play with a lot of musicians who name their guitars, so I don't think I've ever heard of someone naming a club.
My driver, whose name is Tawny.
Tawny.
So
Like Tawny Katane?
absolutely.
Let's go. Also
So,
showing our age a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell us about Tawny Katane.
Rest in peace, Tawny. But Tawny is like the scale for the hot crazy scale, right?
Yeah, she was the girl on the cover of the car in the White Snake video.
Yep. So.
And she was crazy. I forget what happened at like an Angels game, but
yeah,
she had
married to Chuck Finley. she had the relationship with David Coverdale from White Snake.
Yep.
She had a very interesting life. She definitely lived her life.
So you named a club after Tawny. Which club?
It's my driver, and it's just because it's crazy. Sometimes it's absolutely hot, and I love her. And she's sending them right down the middle of the fairway. And
because my driver is crazy.
Next thing I know, there's a high right one that goes, into a opposite fairway.
But you love that,
yeah,
because you're a casual is the wrong word, but you are just a fun golfer.
I like weird shots. I mean, I have a whole video collection of me putting from. Putting out of a bunker.
Oh yeah, you've used the putter everywhere.
Hitting chip shots out of bushes, instead of taking the drop or stuff like that. It's like the weirder the shot, I love it. So you put me in an opposite fairway, and now I'm like, oh, how am I going to get back over there? But Tawny is just like, she loves me sometimes, and there's other days that I think she wants to slice my throat.
That's so good. All right, my favorite question of the par 5 is your dream foursome. So you can pick any 3 people, alive or dead. There's a lot of different ways to go with that. And then I'd also like to know who you play with and where you would play.
So I'm going to go with my original group, my high school buddies. It's going to be me, John, Paul, and Eddie.
Perfect. And you guys get to do that foursome
all the time
and all the places.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting. Would you go back to Scotland, or would you pick a different somewhere you haven't played?
I would pick somewhere I haven't played. So we're being a Vegas group, or all of us grew up in Vegas. I'm gonna go with a Vegas golf course, Shadow Creek.
Let's go. Great answer.
That is, to me, that is Vegas. That is Vegas golf right there. That is, if you think of Vegas and you think of a Vegas golf course, I think Shadow Creek would be it.
It is. I agree with you, but the irony in that is that when Steve Wynn built it, he told Tom Fazio, I want it to look like it's not in Las Vegas. I want this course to look like it's somewhere, a golf setting, but just not in the desert.
Yep.
And he achieved that.
Yeah, and like you see the original photos of it where it was out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's the city's built out there now, but it didn't used to.
It is absolutely surrounded now. However, when you're on that course, you don't know that.
Nope.
All the hills, all the little hills are really high.
You don't even see any other groups, right? They stagger it to where, and the holes don't see each other, so you're out on the golf course by yourself.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of walking it a couple of times for work.
Yep, for events like the match or something.
Yeah,
or
I did. Well, I worked Tiger Phil there, which was phenomenal. That was so awesome to sit there and watch that. And I know where it's at. You forget where it's at when you're there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. I would go Shadow Creek, and then I would have to pay the rider fee for our buddy Dave to come along, just so we have a fifth.
I love that. I love that because he's not golfing. We've had a couple people add a fifth, but that's the best way to do it. He's just riding along.
He just wants to hang out with the fellas and have a good time.
Awesome.
So.
Question number 4, because I know that this could go a lot of different ways. I know it probably starts with a Bloody Mary, but when you're going to go to the golf course, what's your aiming fluid? Or fluids?
I have to start every round with a bloody. I have to every time. And walking in here, I don't even have to order it anymore. Peggy already knows.
Serves it up. Peggy and the Bloody Marys are becoming a staple of the show. That's so fun.
Yeah, she knows what I want as soon as I walk in, so that's I have to start it. I could go around and not play or not drink unless we're doing a birdie shot, or if nobody birdies the front nine, we do a pity shot on the 10th tee.
That's fun. So if no birdies on the front nine, you do what's called a pity shot.
We do a pity shot, which normally leads to a birdie on 10 or 11. So we're
Isn't
doing
that
like
amazing?
back to
That's
back.
why they call it an aiming fluid. Yeah,
Yep.
because they tend to work.
And so that's our, we go with Fireball for Fireball.
I love that. And so there are some rounds that you don't drink other than that.
Yeah.
So what are you drinking? Just water?
Water or diet sodas.
Diet sodas.
Yeah.
Perfect. Question number 5, my second favorite question. I think we've had a couple of swear words already in this, so I'm excited to see where this is going. But what word or phrase do you use when you get, and you're good at not getting angry, but do you have a word or phrase that you tend to use more than others?
There's going to be two. It's either if I hit it and it goes the absolute opposite way that I
you
want
wanted
it to, it's going to be a fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's universal.
But it's not even an angry fuck. It's more like, it's like, fuck, I can't fucking believe that.
Yeah, it's an exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I occasional damn it. Damn it.
Damn, it's a good one.
Damn it. All right. It was funny because I try not to get angry out there, and last week there was a club toss incident. It was a half a toss, but you would have thought, I was just like,
and you were disappointed in yourself?
Yeah.
Immediately after you did it?
Well, and then, I'm playing with the guys from Cocky and Lucky, and the group chat just blows up. Oh, Robbie just tossed the club.
I was going to say, that's going to be everybody's favorite moment,
like,
even though it's devastating to you.
Guys, it wasn't even a club. It was kind of like a shove. It wasn't even a toss.
That's so good. Robbie, thank you again, man. I feel like we've become such good friends in the last year and a half, and I just want to thank you for coming on the show.
And thank you for everything. I mean, you've done so much. We had our the Cinco de Marzo party. Thanks to you.
That was fun. Yeah, you guys all tell us a little bit about that on the way out, because that was your 50th birthday before Scotland.
So birthday is March 5th. That's still from Cinco de Mayo. It's Cinco de Marzo.
I love it.
I steal everything. So, but I give credit.
Yeah.
It's Cinco de Marzo, 36 holes every year.
Yeah.
Every year, Cinco de Marzo weekend we play. This year we did Cloud 9. And
the night before.
Yep, night before. And then we did 36. We played both courses here. Had an absolute phenomenal time.
I remember, and we were honored to be able to host it. Yeah, let's do it every year.
Yeah, absolute blast, and I appreciate everything.
Awesome. Thanks, Robbie.
Yep. All right.
Thank you guys again for watching. These are getting so fun for me personally, and Angel Park is just really grateful and privileged to be able to share these with you, and that you're all into it and watching. It's a neat thing. So thanks again. See you next week. And in the meantime, hit them straight from your friends at Angel Park. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.